What's up, guys? Welcome back to Whiskey Motorcycles. This week we're going to be back on the XS650, and we left off with this seat bar last time. I went ahead and threw this back on there. If you can't tell, I did it off video, but the head of this Allen bolt I put on the lathe because trying to get it in right there, it doesn't quite want to fit. So I cleaned that up a little bit. Took this old bung off, did the same with it, ground it down a little ways, and then I put it on the lathe to kind of re-round in some of those areas. Now we just got to do the same with this one, cut this off, put that on the lathe, get it kind of all cleaned up, and then I'm going to try to position this thing where I want it. As you can see, it's kind of, let me go back over to this side. Right here, if I push this up, it pretty well puts that spring right straight up and down again. So that's the plan, is to get it somewhere about right there. And then of course I still have to weld the rest of this. I kind of left it because I wasn't sure whether I was going to bring it back or forward, but it's about perfect where it's at. It's a little bit weird with the bungs now because of the way the bar angles up. So let's see if I can do this with one hand. So the bung's going to kind of have a little bit of space on this one side, be shimmed up a little bit, but that's just fine because that's just all the more weld I can put in there and get that good penetration to not have to worry about it falling off. I don't think they were going to fall before, but either way. So I'm going to go ahead and get to cutting that other bung out of there and cleaning that up, and then we'll kind of reattack from there and try to get those bungs welded on there. Or I might go ahead and weld the cross member back up fully first, but we'll see. I'll probably pull the back wheel off again and all that too, because I also have to re-weld the cross member that's underneath all this stuff here. After I get that done, I'll see what we're gonna do. Not 100% sure yet. I don't have any other plans yet for this video, so that's kind of all I was thinking about doing. And then I mean, eventually I need to move on to the back and kind of figure out the fender mount and stuff like that. So now that I've kind of got the rear wheel in a place that I can do that, maybe we can start on that. But either way, I'm gonna get started, and I'll catch you guys back up here in just a little bit. Alright, so I got those all turned down on the lathe and everything, and I set them back up on here. They look pretty good. I've just kind of got them, I mean, I tacked them and checked them, and then I still need to finish welding them and everything. And I'm going to pull the rear wheel off so I can do the cross member and these at the same time. But yeah, I think it's turned out pretty good. I'm still liking it. But anyways, like I said, I gotta pull this rear wheel and stuff off now, get that out of the way, kind of finish welding that up, maybe even try to clean those welds up, and then put that rear wheel back on and see where we're at from there. Well guys, pretty much where I'm gonna end this video is right about here. I'm just gonna finish this up, put it all back together. And probably just call it quits for this video. I feel like that's gonna be enough. And I also don't feel like staying up super late like I did last week. I don't want to do that all the time, but I got a lot done, a good chunk done, and I feel like anything else I start at this point is just going to be a long project to get done. So I feel like that's good in its own. Got a lot of stuff to try to vacuum up now too, because I've been grinding. But take the camera off here. So you guys seen me put the rear wheel back on. Well, I cut the video after it looked like I got it on because it was having difficulties fitting. I couldn't quite figure it out. And it clicked that I did something wrong. So lesson of this week of what not to do is take your rear wheel off without having some kind of spacer in there when you're welding the cross member, because it took it up probably over a 1/4 inch. And I couldn't fit my wheel with my spacers in there and everything. And well, I got my rosebud out and I heated up right near where I had welded, and then I just put it back out to where it needed to be. It's 8.5 inches, so we're pretty dead on right there, almost even slightly over, but it's cooling down now and it should be good to go. But yeah, like I said, lesson of this week of what not to do. Make sure you have something in there. I didn't really think about it. I should have known better, but whatever. Anyways, I'm gonna set this down and then I'll get back to it and I'll come back before the end of this video. All right, everybody, thanks for checking in this week. I've got everything fixed and put back together. The rear wheel and spacing is perfect now. Kind of sucks that I had to do that. When I first realized it, I was like, kind of had to walk away for a second and figure out what I was gonna do. My immediate thought was to put the torch on it, but I was like, man, I don't necessarily want to do that because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it right. And it was super easy because I originally put that clamp on there and pushed it apart to 8.5, and I was gonna try to heat it like that, and I realized that's probably not the best option. So what I did is take that clamp back off and let it kind of reset to where it was like 8 1/8 to 8 1/4, something like that, and heated up these two sections real good. Got this side kind of red hot, and then went over the other side and got it red hot. Came back, got this one, and kind of, you know, even them out as much as I could. And then as soon as I did that, I put the clamp on there and viced it out. And by the time I did that, it had almost worked itself out to where it needed to be. Maybe 1/8 to 1/4 inch off again, and I just had just enough pressure to keep that clamp in there, and then let it cool. Once I let it cool, took that clamp out, measured it a few times, and it was perfect. So glad that worked out. Like I said, lesson of this week, have a spacer in there. You don't necessarily have to have the rear wheel, but you should have some kind of spacer in there if you know your dimensions, which you should. Like I already knew it was supposed to be 8.5, and when I noticed something was wrong, I got the tape measure out and it was not 8.5. That's when I knew something was wrong, and I knew exactly what was wrong and what I did. So anyways, just double check your work, especially with frame work and stuff like that. You want all that stuff straight and square. But anyways, thanks for joining again this week. I don't know if I'll have a video next week or not, because the next 2 weeks for me, including this week that you guys are watching this, I'm going through the SEER training course, and this next following week I will be just getting back from 5 days out in the woods, and I won't have any time here at home or any contact, stuff like that. Strictly just out in the woods doing survival stuff. So like I said, as long as that training goes through and all that, I only have a few, I think I got like 6-7 days until then. Actually today is 7 days, was to 7 days. It's getting towards the end of this day, so I'll try to get something recorded and edited and in schedule for you guys, but I can't promise it. So look for a video this next week, but if it doesn't happen, that's why. I'll just call it the Thanksgiving break, because that's what Friday should be. And then we'll get back to some more chopper stuff, or whatever I figure out. By then, it should be chopper stuff. But I may end up doing something else. Who knows? Just make sure you stick around and check us out. Also, jump down and like, comment, subscribe on the video, and thanks for hanging out. Later.